Thanks, Ruby, for that. Mahindra Satyam, it posted strong first quarter numbers, profits up 56%, earnings were aided by higher other income and continued demand for outsourcing. In fact, joining us in business is CP Gurnani, Chief Executive Officer of Mahindra Satyam. CP, many thanks for joining in. My first question to you is, what's your own assessment of the operating environment? Is there enough evidence in the market that clients are willing to spend, and is demand looking healthy?
I wish, I could be as optimistic, because then I would be the only guy in the whole universe who would be so optimistic about the economic environment. The fact is that we continue to have ups and downs. It continues to be volatile, and personally speaking, I have always maintained that IT and shared services industry is a lag industry. Any impact comes third quarter, fourth quarter, after the seismic impact that happens in economy anywhere else in the world. Yes, we are very proud of our achievement so far, but considering that the market is so volatile, I can only say is that we are constantly watching and continue to be cautious.
Just a word about your operating margin, CP. If you leave the cross-currency gains aside for a moment, do you expect your margin performance to improve compared to what you did last quarter?
Right now you saw the previous quarter that my consolidated margin expansion was 417 basic points, and I grew from 17.5 to 21.7%. If I take out the currency fluctuations, that was about 300 basis points. So my margin correction on account of operating efficiencies and utilization has been only 25% of my 417 points. So all I can say is that, we still have operating levers. We will try and improve, but we are also cautious is that there is a wage increase on the way, so we will probably be in the same range, but same range means I am taking the currency volatility out, and I'm assuming is that I'll continue to improve on my margin performance, and and you will have to give me the correction of the wage increase.
CP, what about the deal pipeline? Are you now able to convert any of the large $50 million plus deals? Are you seeing delay in decision making by any of your clients?
The fact is that it's not only the decision making by clients. I think the more CXO is more involved. That means a CIO would talk to a CFO or a CEO or a chief operating officer. Earlier it used to be the business and IT decide what the next decision is. Now there are lot many people who get involved. That's the number one change that we are seeing. And number two is that yes, we are being invited to many large deals. We are contesting many large deals, and we are also noticing is that many of our customers continue to give us more complex programs, more complex delivery models, and also take into account that you would need more global delivery centers to deliver a project, because many of the customer changes are happening around customer experience management, and customer experience management means closeness to the customer. So I strongly believe we opened a center in Fargo, in North Dakota. We opened a center in Toulouse in France. I strongly believe that we will be opening few more centers, particularly in Latin America.
Just a word on the legal cases, CP. What is the status of the claim made by Aberdeen Asset Management? I understand this is being contested in a UK court. How much of liability have you factored in? By when do you think this is likely to be completed?
We already closed a class action suit by part of the class action suit in America, which was the Aberdeen Group in US. As you would have seen during the press releases and stock exchange information that we settled it for $12 million. Aberdeen Asset Management in UK has filed another claim. We are contesting it, and it is sub judice, and all I can say is that we would contest that claim.
One final question, CP. The merger process with Tech Mahindra, when is it likely to be completed? Once it happens, we understand you become the 4th largest company in India. But just from an investor standpoint, when do you expect this process to be completed?
So there are two parts to any merger. Number one is internal, which is in our control. So, so the management team of both the companies with the legal counsels, bankers, have tried to evolve a model in which the integration, the virtual merger can take place, again as I said, within the guidance of the process of where we do not impact any of the legal or financial processes. So there we are going ahead with, looking at how to drive benefit of the operating efficiencies, and number two, how to address the customers jointly. Similarly, wherever there is a synergy possible when management processes, we are taking advantage of that. The second part is which is where I would say it's a legal process. A legal process is that we have already cleared Competition Commission. We have been able to address, got the approval from the regulators. We have already got the approval of the shareholders of both the companies, and now the matter is being referred to the High Court. We will have to get a resolution from High Courts in Andhra Pradesh and High Courts in Maharashtra. I'm very confident that that process shouldn't take too long, but however it is a legal regulatory process, and we will follow it as per the dates given by the High Court.
CP Gurnani, many thanks for joining us with your perspective. That was the story of Mahindra Satyam. Good earnings, stock is zooming in trade today. Lots more coming up on the show. Follow us on Twitter. Find us at Harsha in Business. But coming up next, Glenn Saldana. Glenn Mark will talk business with us. Good earnings there again. Back in business in 2 minutes.